Akpabio and his deputy clashed over the Senate's response to Trump's threat. There was mild drama yesterday after President of the Red Chamber, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and his deputy, Senator Jibrin Barau, disagreed over the upper chamber's response to U.S. President Donald Trump's threat of military action against terrorists in Nigeria. Now, this disagreement began after reports surfaced alleging that Akpabio had personally rebuffed Trump over Nigeria's classification as a country of particular concern. Well, Akpabio denied the claim, insisting that he never attacked the American president, saying that he could only communicate the collective resolution of the Senate once the executive takes a clear position. This is what he had to say.
Breaking news. Breaking news should not break the society. But a situation where somebody will sit in the comfort of his room and produce a report and produce fake pictures of 2023 when the Senate President with senators visited Port Harcourt on a very different thing and say, oh, Senate President answers President Trump. Who am I to answer President Trump? Have you ever heard of such a thing? And the Senate President said that Nigerians are not complaining, that we like the way we are living.
Now, Akpabio later directed the clerk of the Senate to delete Barau's remarks on the issue from the day's proceedings, saying that they did not reflect the official stance of the chamber. But this incident does underscore the delicate balance that often exists between legislative independence and executive diplomacy, especially as Nigeria right now is navigating growing foreign scrutiny over our security and our human rights record. Let's take a look at social media. Zima says, Akpabio's plea is comedic, but also telling about political pressures in the chamber. Very short, very apt. Team, I'm going to come to you right now. This is very interesting, and why I chose to take this story is because right now we know what's going on with with Trump and his feelings towards Nigeria, and so we're seeing a lot of sentiment. A lot of political actors in this period are coming out to respond in form of the government. While that was very funny, he said, you know, who am I to answer Trump? It does tell a story that we must allow the right people frame our narrative and answer us on behalf of the president. There's so many people that are talking right now on two sides of their mouth, and they say they are speaking for the presidency, but officially they can't. And so Akpabio took a very strong and respectful stance.
But at the end of the day, even in the Senate, you can see the both of them are not saying the same thing, because he said one thing and his deputy said another thing. But then again, to Akpabio, what do you mean, who are you? You are our Senate president. We respect you. So, of course, you know, you shouldn't say who are you to, you know, answer President Trump. I didn't really like that statement. And also, it just shows something. That video, you know, what we played and what happened, it just shows that there is also something happening that we do not know about. Because if the Senate president is saying, who are we? Who is he? And then his deputy is saying that, you know, we are not afraid of Trump, then I'm wondering that where do we stand? But at the end of the day, we just want peace and tranquility in Nigeria. We do not want killings of our people, whether Muslim, whether Christian.
Indeed. Maybe let's put it like this. Godswill Akpabio as a person maybe might not be able to answer President Donald Trump, but the Senate President Godswill Akpabio has every right within what is provided for him as the man who is in charge of the National Assembly to answer any government, you know, who says anything against or about the country. And so I think from that angle, he needs to understand the power that he wields as the Senate President of Nigeria. In fact, as a senator, let alone the Senate President. That speaks a lot. But Ria, if you remember, we were speaking to Kabiro yesterday, and he put some blame at the table of the National Assembly for not doing due diligence in helping, you know, the security architecture to secure what he called investigative or information gathering, you know, ability. And so the National Assembly needs to also understand that it's not just about the the executive and the military, as it were now, but they also play a role to ensuring that the uniform agencies get what they need, so that, like you said, we can have peace, not just in the north, but all over the country. And, you know, Nelson, too, for his deputy saying that I'm not scared of Trump, we are a sovereign nation, and, you know, we have our Senate president saying that, who am I? You're somebody, you're our Senate president. We hold you in high esteem, actually. That's right.
Now, team, make no mistake about it. I truly believe that Godswill Akpabio knows the power that he wields in this country.
So why did he make the statement?
Let's for 1 second not think that he doesn't. I think if you ask me, what happened in that situation was that Jibrin Barau, his deputy, was getting very inflammatory. You want to handle this sort of thing, a response from the National Assembly with diplomacy, with tact, with facts, with a certain level of intelligence and skill. And so I believe that Jibrin Barau got very inflammatory and it was Akpabio curtailing him. But perhaps he overstated his own importance.
Well,
he could have put it in a better way, actually,
absolutely.
because now, Olamide, how do you go and start explaining this to everybody to understand?
Because that is our
statement he made is what
president, and people are looking up to him for policy to help shape this narrative. You're right.
The floor of the National Assembly is the melting pot of all kinds of important conversations. And so if they can't have that on the floor, I wonder
and
where
I'm even
else.
scared if our own Senate president is saying, who is he? Like, I'm wondering. So I think that statement wasn't put well. I get what you're trying to say, but he could have put it in a better way. Because do you now want to go and start explaining to Nigerians that this is why he said what he said?
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely. Perhaps he undermined his power in public perception, but let's move on.
Yeah.